What's Nintendo's latest video game system? The Nintendo Switch. A lot of us consider it to be Nintendo's console for the 9th generation of gaming, because it vastly improved over the shortly lived Wii U. The thing is, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X have been revealed earlier in 2020, and this feels like bad news for Nintendo fans like me. Sony and Microsoft have been doing things that Nintendo doesn't, and Nintendo could be left in the dust. I'm not saying Nintendo surpassing their two competitors is impossible. I just hope Nintendo can overcome their kinks before it's too late. It may be tough to process what I'm gonna say, so take this video on the go if it helps you. Hey, I'm Owen, the fiction fanboy, and here are the top 5 reasons the Nintendo Switch might lose the 9th generation. It can't play much TV content. This may not seem like a big conflict for the people that spend downtime playing video games, yet I still felt the need to bring this up for those that also like to watch movies and TV shows, such as me. On my YouTube channel, I cover as much pop culture media as I can that relies on screens. Consoles have made it possible to watch content using the internet near the 2010 decade, as consoles had Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, Hulu, YouTube, and the Switch currently has just those last 2 apps. Also, we can play DVDs on consoles in the PlayStation and Xbox families, whereas the only disc type the Wii and Wii U accept are game discs. No disc slot on Switch, no DVD player. Furthermore, modern DVDs will only work on consoles. When renting from Redbox, the machine will say you'll need a console to use these discs. DVD players are basically dead thanks to gaming companies, so chances of watching TV and movies on the Switch are small, unlike other devices. JoyCon Drift. The crews that actually design the consoles call those circle things on the controllers analog sticks, or control sticks, though a lot of us consider them to be joysticks. Regardless of what the actual name of the moving sticks are, we need to make sure no harm is done to the controllers. Parents definitely have to check how kids treat Nintendo's controllers, as I remember having movement problems with nunchucks while playing Wii games. This event still goes on today for every gamer, since Nintendo did hear the complaints and did improve on the Joy-Cons in 2019. However, the sign to not purchase a Switch Lite is that they might get the drift and you must buy a whole new system, use it until that one drifts, rinse and repeat. It's a cycle that'll only end at the moment you give up. Xbox and PlayStation fans have experienced this issue too, but at least you can buy new controllers or follow tutorial videos. My advice is to play TV mode via Pro Controller, Switch players. Drifts are bad and make us mad. Limited storage. Shelves are all about keeping your content in one place, and if you guessed purchasing games digitally would solve that problem for you forever, guess again. A downer about the Wii U is how very little storage you could have on it. I mean, only 8 to 32 gigabytes of storage? Seriously? That's almost jack squat. You'd think after the PS4 and Xbox One systems could handle up to 1 terabyte, Nintendo would possibly try to make the Switch have more storage than the Wii U without needing a microSD card. I thought Nintendo would strive to do better than their opponents. I may not be the guy that owns every single game that is available on the Switch or want to be that guy. Nevertheless, I feel like there is someone out in the world who does want to be that guy, and if money is not the biggest obstacle, then storage is. Terabytes aren't terrible, so maybe modernize storage like how battery life got updated, and we can game for a lifetime. Lack of backwards compatibility. Aside from the weird habit of licking the small things, I do love the idea of using cartridges for physical copies of games. Be that as it may, the cartridge slot we gain means eliminating the likelihood to play Wii, Wii U, DS, or 3DS games. Nintendo has been allowing us to play old games on modern consoles for a decade or two, and Microsoft's Xboxes have been dominating Sony's PlayStations on backwards compatibility. I sense a few of you will inform me on the plentiful Switch ports of Wii U games anyway, yes? In spite of that fact, not all have been ported yet. I'm looking at you, Super Mario 3D World. Plus, we don't need a huge amount of already existing games being transferred just for hybrid console playability. I would want more new games to avoid having people being cheated for buying great games to be played on inferior platforms, only for a remake to be made on more beloved game gizmos, notably if some of them cost the traditional $60. Let us play more than Switch games on the Switch so we can save our moolah. Performance on third-party and online games. A majority of video games release on multiple consoles so that every gamer won't have to miss out on the fun. And with the Switch's portability, enough folk will choose the Switch versions of the designated games if they exist. Sadly for the Nintendo licensed copies of the games, especially the ports, sacrifices made to make the games operate on the hybrid console include reduced frame rate, downgraded visuals, and insanely long load times. WWE 2K18 and Ark Survival Evolved are the worst offenders of these botherations. The moral to learn here is not every game was meant for the Switch. Now for online gamers, we had free online multiplayer until the Nintendo Switch Online program launched in September 2018, which costs $20 a year per individual or $35 for a family. Such delays and prices would be forgiven if the service had dedicated servers and satisfying features. Unfortunately, this isn't the case as online has lag, voice chat is nowhere near Discord success, and we get the not good kind of special offers. Granted, not all third-party and online games on the Switch are bad. Though Microsoft's been targeting 120 FPS gameplay, Sony's left load screens gone for good, and with both companies having superior Wi-Fi, the Nintendo Switch may drop into a ditch of despair. Alrighty, you've seen how the Switch can be defeated, but do you see that I have a video on how it might be victorious? Click on it to find out how. Follow me on Instagram, do the cool stuff on YouTube. Hope to see you next time, and good night-o.